What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 30 Minutes of Hell. I am your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joey Jackson and Matt Jackson. Arkansas basketball picked up another win this week. We're going to talk about it, talk a little bit about what's coming up. Um, wasn't a huge game this week against UCA. Arkansas won how they're supposed to win, but there were some things I felt like in the first half that, we want to talk about a little bit. Things got a lot better in the second half, but we're still learning a lot about who this team is. It's hard to have takeaways whenever you're winning games by 30, 40 points like this against these nobody teams. But I think some of the red flags maybe were raised against like Michigan State.
For the audio listeners, Matt just put on the biggest frown of all time when Brandon called UCA a nobody team.
Come on, man. That was like a knife in the back right there.
37 points wasn't enough of a knife in the back, Matt.
They didn't say anything though.
That score would have
Sorry,
said a lot.
Brandon, continue.
No, we're all good. We're all good. We've seen a lot of good things, and then, like I was mentioning, some red flags that have cropped up, and just some things that are good to keep eyes on, even in games like this where you don't feel threatened that you might lose it. So to start off with, Malik Thomas is still the most confident player I think I've ever watched play basketball. I don't think he has any recollection of what happened on the previous play, no matter whether it was good or bad. If he sees any look that he thinks he can get his shot off, he's going to get his shot off. In this game, took 13 three-point attempts, 17 field goals overall. Didn't shoot particularly well, but still ended with 17 points. A good thing about his game, though, is that along with that confidence comes a well-rounded game. Like, he's not just a shot checker. He's not just looking to shoot the ball. Like, he also has 6 rebounds. He also has 6 assists. He did not turn the ball over one time. Like, he's still playing good basketball. He's just going to throw it up if he has a shot that he thinks he can get off. If the defender's giving him an inch of room, it's going up. Um, Not always a bad thing. Can be a very good thing when he gets going, but that is something that I am definitely like watching as we get into some of these games because he did not shoot well against Michigan State, but he did not stop shooting either. So
He's
yeah, how do you guys feel about yeah?
he's never seen a bad shot. He will, like you said, he's got an inch of space. He's putting that thing up, and something that I would say that I was a little disappointed in from this game that I didn't think was going to be a problem after our game against Southern was he kept putting up threes. I thought that he would kind of feel it out, realize the shot wasn't falling, and try to get more in the mid range, try to get to the rim a bit. And I didn't see that as much in this game. I mean, he obviously put up 13 of his 17 shots were threes, so um, it's it's just one of those things he's going to have to learn as a collegiate athlete to, get easier looks, see the ball go in the basket. He's a three-level scorer. He can score from anywhere on the court. He doesn't have to get his point by way of the three. He's a great mid-range shooter. He's got a great float game in the paint. I don't want to see him getting stuck even though he thinks every shot's a good shot. I don't want him to get stuck thinking, okay, I can make this next three. I can make this next three. I can make this next three. I want him to be a scorer, not just a shooter.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was disappointed that we didn't see him get into the lane. I think, Joe, you brought it up after the game against Southern of how you were impressed by how he shots weren't falling. He would change his game up and go and drive and get into the mid range. But the issue, I love that a shooter has a short memory. Like that's what you need to have. But you also need to be smart and also let other players play the game too. It's very dangerous when you get into the habit of like, oh, I'm just going to shoot whatever shot's open because I'm a shooter and I can do it. You have to play the game smart on offense. I get that he's going in and he's getting rebounds. He's playing good defense, things of that nature, but you have to have some type of IQ there. And I'm worried. I Worried isn't the right word. I know he's going to get better with this. I know it's just a process, but I don't want to see him ever being in the starting five until that situation is taken care of. I think he's great coming off the bench and doing stuff like that. But like you just can't really have somebody gel in that starting five that we have specifically who's going to take most of the shots. Bring him in as a six man when we need some points off the bench. Heck yeah, let's do it. But I don't
Well,
know.
an interesting thing that I just looked up, he's leading our team in assists, and he's one of the lowest turnovers per game guy. I don't think that was really
He's weird.
expected from him. He's a
He's
weird one,
he's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, that was kind of my point too. Is that like I expected him to be a little bit of a shot checker. I expected this to be something that I was paying attention to this season, but I didn't expect the 5, 6 rebounds a game and as many
Hmm.
assists as he's getting. Like he is
Yeah,
still, he's not losing games. Like he's not being a
Yeah.
detriment right now. I don't put the Michigan State loss on him by any means or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to say, but just the sometimes you got to be a little smarter about the shots whenever they're not all falling is all I'm trying to say with that.
yeah.
I am impressed with all like his peripheral stats, like over 1.5 steals a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Like he's doing really well, just not a very high percentage from the field overall right now. But I think he'll settle into that more and more, and I just know that he won't stop shooting. Like he will figure it out or die trying, basically.
Yeah.
So beyond Malik, though, it's still a good game, right? Like he still had a lot of points, still did other things very well. Um, Carter Knox was very happy to see him get in the game and actually get his first points of the season. Set out against Southern, didn't score against Michigan State. Was happy to see him come out firing. I think he had like the first 5 points or 5 of the first 7 or something along those lines, and just was very, very efficient in this game. Um, he actually really didn't even take that many shots. It was like I think he was 4 of 6 from the field and finished with 19 points. Like that's very efficient scoring from Knox there. And
And he
beyond the
didn't. I
scoring
don't think
too,
he
though.
missed his. I don't think he missed his first shot until like midway through the second half. Like he was on fire, or his first three. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes. Yeah. He was hitting like very well early on. He was on fire 100%. And beyond that too, though, I feel like the effort was higher from him than we've seen. And I feel like against Michigan State he came back too fast. Like I almost felt like he was still hurt or he wasn't fully back in game shape. I don't know what the deal was, but he looked so much better in this game. And you can see it with the 10 rebounds that he had, right? 19 and 10 in this game, 3 offensive rebounds. Post game, he talked about how he was chasing down. He wanted every single board that came off a missed shot in this UCA game. Um, Almost aggressive to a fault. He did have 4 personal fouls, and I think a lot of that came from being aggressive like that, loose ball situations. But you cannot fault that kind of points and 8 or 9 rebounds a game like that. That takes them over the top, right? Like that's a step forward that makes this team from good to great, in my opinion.
Yeah. Welcome back, Carter Knox. I've missed you so much. He really did kill it. He responded exactly how a veteran player should respond after a loss like that in a performance like that. I get that the competition was way different, but you can totally respect the effort that he put in. Like he said, if he played like that against Michigan State, we would have won. And I 100% believe that. I think we would have won by however many points he scored. But he responded exactly how I wanted him to. And maybe that's just due to him being healthier.
and that's a good
Yeah,
point,
and it's good to
Matt.
see him. It's good to see him point that out too, right? Like I wish, like the fact that he was mad at the way that he played against
Yeah.
Michigan State, and he said, like, if I had just done this, like we would have won, we would have been better. Like I don't know, a little bit of fire like that, I like to see still, even
Yeah.
this early in the season. Sorry, Joey, go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, it's fine. Go ahead.
Get going, Joey. Come on.
I'll just sit here with my mouth duct taped shut since I don't get to talk. No, I was just saying that's a really good point, Matt. Not very often do you see players come out with no points, star players at that. He's expected to be one of our best guys. Come out with 0 points in I think 15 to 18 minutes in a high competition game, and then turn it around in the next game and put up a double double of 19 and 10. I was really impressed, regardless of the competition. That his confidence isn't shook. Because that would, I mean, as an athlete, you would think that having a game like he had against Michigan State, your confidence would be pretty shot going into the next game. So it was good to see that he didn't let that stop him from letting it rip and having a great game.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of good games too, I feel like we saw a little bit more of Malik Ewan than we've seen all season. Still not perfect, still against a lower level of competition, but he did finally bring down some defensive rebounds after going a long time without any. Got to the free throw line a lot, drew 5 fouls. I really like to see that. Shows a little bit more aggression, right? But yeah, 10 points, 5 boards, a steal. Um, Still not quite the guy that we thought we might be getting, but if he can give us 10-5, 8-5, 8-6, like those kind of games are fine. I'm fine with that from Lee Q, and he doesn't have to be a superstar, but he has to rebound. He has to get to the free throw line. Like he's too good to not be giving us anything. And I feel like in this game, maybe he got to step forward a little bit. We saw a little bit more of Ewans sharing the court with Pringle, with Brazil being out. And I feel like that allowed him to do a little bit more in this game, maybe get into his flow a little bit more. Still played 23 minutes. But that's definitely something that again, am paying attention to in these next 3 games where we're not really concerned about like talent should carry us on the final scoreboard. I want to see things like Malik Ewan bringing down 5 or more rebounds every game. Like those are the kind of things that I like to see in these situations.
And I want to see points in the paint. I mean, from him specifically, he's going to be our guy. I know Pringle's not necessarily the dude that's going to go get you 14 points, but Ewan is. Get the ball to him in the paint. I want to see him work. He's got the footwork to do it. So do it. I mean, we can't rely on a 3-point shooting still. I know we're better than we were last year. Maybe. I mean, that Michigan State game was deja vu, but you have to get the ball in the paint some, and he's going to be our guy to do that. Or high post. I mean, let him shoot a free throw line jump shot. I mean, I feel like he can make it.
I'm ready for us to get some more road games under our belt. We've proven that we can perform at home. We've done it already. Our guys are comfortable in Bud Walton, but I'm ready for us to get some out of home court run uh, for all of our guys. I think it would benefit everyone. The biggest thing that I noticed about Ewan, his effort did seem he had a little higher intensity this game, but he he should easily be a 6 to 7 rebound a game guy. When I look at someone who Sealy is the perfect example in this game. He played 10 less minutes than Ewan and still pulled down an extra rebound, and that's from a guard. So I just it's hard when you expect so much from somebody and it's not happening. Because I think everybody has really high expectations and really high hopes for Ewan coming into the season. And it just seems like he can't get his footing yet. So hopefully it's something like a Brazil situation last year where it may take him half the season to find his role, what it looks like on this Razorback team, because I mentioned it last pod, it's so much different than what it was last year. It's going to look completely different than what his role was last year. So even if it comes midway through the season, I just really want to I want to see him perform well.
But if there's anything we know about Coach Cal is that he will get the best out of you some way, somehow. He did it with the team last year. We were thinking, I know all of us were thinking like this season's over, and it was like 10 games in, right? So, and he pulled it out of his pocket and got us rolling. If there's anybody that can get you and motivated, it's going to be Cal. If Cal doesn't see any hope in him, we won't see him on the court. We'll see somebody else.
I
And I
just
think
don't.
that's the biggest motivation right there too, though, is if Ewan is not playing minutes, like Cal doesn't have to say anything. If Ewan's playing 15 minutes a game, Ewan probably wants to play more than 15 minutes a game. He knows what he has to do. If he's not going to do it, right, like Cal's just not gonna play him when you have guys like Pringle and Brazil that you can play,
And
in my
I don't
opinion.
I don't know if that's what motivates Ewan. I think the big plays are what motivates him. And you can't and I feel like obviously I don't know him as a person. I only know him from the few games that I've seen him play, but it feels like if he doesn't have the chance to get his rhythm and get going, he's never going to be that spark plug. He's not going to be that, he's never going to catch his rhythm because he can't make those big plays because he can't get in the rhythm to make those big plays. I don't know if the coaching is what's going to get him to the next level. I think it's in his own head and in his own capabilities,
Yeah,
frankly.
and in that case, if it's not going to get him going, then Cal's not going to play him. Like
Exactly.
that's in the end of the story, and I don't want him to. I like I said after the MSU loss is he was borderline unplayable
Hmm.
just because of his effort, and that's not something we need on this team that has heaps of effort. Between Malik Thomas and Billy Richmond alone, with 110% of the team's effort right there, you can't have that from your big guy.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, Billy was another guy that I was going to bring up momentarily too, and Isaiah Sealy, Joe, you mentioned him. I love the way that kid plays. He's like,
He's so fun to watch.
yeah, he's like he talk about 100% all the time. Like he crashes the glass on every shot. He's very smart in transition. He doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. He had 0 turnovers in 14 minutes in this game. Um, Cal talked a little bit post game about how he doesn't how Sealy isn't confident yet as a shooter and how he's not even in practice living up to some of these other guys shooting the ball. He's just not quite there yet. And so Cal was kind of talking about how Sealy took two threes in this game. He was like, "You're 6'7", and every time you drive in the paint, you get fouled. Go get fouled." Like he said, like stop shooting the ball. And like when you're wide open, I don't think either of his two 3-point attempts were bad shots by any means. But I mean, Cal sees that this kid could get in the paint. He's really good at driving the ball. He makes smart decisions. He gets fouled. He's pretty good at the free throw line, and I feel like he's like bigger than I think a lot of people realize. Like seeing him in person, he's taller than Carter Knox. He's taller than Billy Richmond. Like he's a true 6'7", and he's still skinny. He's still a freshman. He's building some of that muscle, that weight up, but he's big. Like he's a forward, and he's very fun to watch play.
Yeah.
Um, so speaking of then to the big man, I feel like Pringle we saw a little bit. Just wanted to touch real fast. We've seen him have some foul trouble both in the exhibition games and against Michigan State, where he fouled out. I like to see that he got to play a lot in this game without committing too many fouls. Only had one foul through the whole 23 minutes of action. And it will be interesting to see moving forward with if Brazil is out more than just this one game, how Pringle and Ewan fit beside each other both defensively, being able to cover the perimeter and what we do offensively. Cal mentioned in his post-game press conference that they had a like a horns look, a double screen look that they ran with them a couple times in this game, but that he needs to put in a few more sets because you can't do the same thing over and over again when you have a certain lineup on the court. So I'm interested to see like what that looks like. Like maybe Ewan has the ball in his hand some, maybe they run something different because neither of them are really like shooters. So I'm just kind of curious to see what Cal comes up with there. But that lineup intrigues me. I like the thought of having those two, which of course Trevor Brazil is also tall. Like he's like 6'10" also. But I like the idea of having those two big guys on the court that can both rebound very well. I guess always having or almost always having two 6'10" guys on the court together is intriguing to me if you can figure out how to put Pringle and Ewan together.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see the offense run more through Ewan. Like have some set plays where he's more in that high post area and looking for dump downs to Pringle or looking for cutter because he's a gifted passer. Like for a big, he's a good passer. So I'd
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see more in the realm of maybe not a 3-man game, but maybe extend Ewan up a bit and run a 4-man one in.
Yeah.
4-man out, one in.
You know, that duo with Pringle and Ewan should be very deadly. It should be. So hopefully, like Joey said, if I would love to see them start running sets with Ewan as like the focal point because getting the ball to him and letting him work the passing lanes and just also it just take it to the rack or shoot or whatever um, is going to be crucial for his success. I feel like, and
Yeah.
we talked about it how Pringle is going to complement Brazil a lot with he's just the big effort guy who's going to get the rebound and he's going to guard your toughest player out there, right? As far as however tall or strong their big man is. But I feel like Ewan can be just as talented as Brazil offensively. He just doesn't show that effort yet. But maybe it is, like you said, Joey, because he's not getting plays ran for him. He's not getting the touches he wants. And maybe once he does, it'll spark.
It might. It could. Yeah, so we've been talking about the 6'10, the bigs in the paint. Brazil was out this game. We haven't really touched on it yet. Reportedly had some back spasms. That was the official injury listing report. We also last game didn't really talk about Talgate very much with him whacking the Michigan State fan on quote unquote accident coming into the tunnel. I don't know what knowing Trevor Brazil, having watched him for a few years, I don't know if I can confidently say that was an accident, but
I need to know what that Michigan State fan said
You,
to him.
you know,
yeah.
the, when I watched it at first, I was like, his reaction, his sudden reaction, made me think it may have actually been an accident because it was a pretty sudden, like, like his
Or
mouth
maybe he
dropped.
tried to like fake it at him and accident and
Yeah,
actually hit
like he
him.
was like, oh,
That sounds like something he would do too.
So I don't know. I'm biased, of course. He didn't do it on purpose, right? But yeah, I could definitely see him doing that.
Add it to the list of
Yeah.
questions we want to ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt that's true. But anyways, whether it is some kind of under the table, you need to sit out this game or not, I can fully believe that he had back spasms going on. I mean, we've seen him injured a lot throughout his career here. Maybe it is just a little maintenance they're trying to do injury wise. I bring it up to say that he could miss another game. He could miss more in this little stretch where we have the talent and the depth to deal with these kind of teams that we're playing right now. But I really hope that he comes back because you need the reps as a full squad before you get into the gauntlet that starts on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So something to keep an eye on. Um, so
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same game parlays, best in class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
So, anyways, let's move forward to the next game. Arkansas plays Friday night against Samford, another team that is pretty low in the rankings as far as, mid-majors go. Um, they're pretty shallow with their depth. They only have six guys that are really like consistently playing a lot of minutes. But their leading scorer is like one of the best scorers in the country. He came out first game of the season and had a 34-point game in their loss, and then I think followed up with 26 and 23 in their next two games. He's currently top 10 in the country in points per game, and that's Jaden Booth, a 6'2 guard that just shoot the heck out of the ball. We feel like Malik Thomas is shooting a lot of threes. Malik is only averaging 10.7 three-point attempts per game. Jaden Booth is shooting 12.3 attempts from long range per game. So that's a guy to keep your eye on. I feel like that's probably going to be DJ Wagner, maybe Malik Thomas guarding him, probably DJ Wagner to start, mainly because they do have another point guard that does handle the ball more. And I feel like Acuff has kind of been our point of attack defender so far. So I feel like Wagner's probably going to get Booth to start the game to chase him off the line. But to me, in a game like this, you take away this guy that's top 10 in this country in scoring, you cut the head off the snake, you don't have a lot else to worry about, in my opinion. But they do have two of the guys averaging over 14 points a game. That's Dylan Faulkner, 6'9" big man, not averaging a ton of rebounds. He's not like an imposing presence on the interior, so not someone that I'm super concerned about. I will say about him though, he does draw a lot of fouls, and we were just talking about Pringle having previous issues with foul trouble, Brazil potentially missing another game. Like that alone, if we fall into foul trouble, I don't think it will cause us to be like in jeopardy of losing or anything like that. But could we see a lineup with Carter Knox at the five? Could we see our Serbian big man Zavic in the game at some point if Malik Ewing gets four fouls and Pringle gets four fouls? Like if we don't have any other bigs and this guy is really good at drawing fouls, like that's something to watch. Again, I don't think he's a big enough threat that it's going to threaten the final scoreboard, but I'm curious about that front court. Um, and then the last guy that I've got my eyes on, maybe the most interesting player on the roster, listed at 5'11", and as former basketball players, we know that probably means like 5'9", averaging 14 points, almost 7 assists, and almost 6 rebounds per game, listed under 6 foot tall. Very intriguing player,
Goodness.
Keaton Norris. Has a high 3-point percentage, gets to the free throw line a lot. Obviously, a great rebounder for his size. Leads his team in assists, still scoring in double digits. Has a almost 3.0 assist to turnover ratio. Like, just does a lot of little things well. And I feel like those little guys that control the pace of the game and can just do everything, they piss me off more than anything playing against them because, like, they shouldn't be able to control it the way they do. So, like, if he comes out and starts giving us headaches with that, this is definitely something to pay attention to with Darius Acuff guarding him more than likely. Probably we'll see some Wagner, some other matchups on him. But all three of these guys draw fouls pretty well. Norris and Faulkner specifically definitely do. So foul trouble is really the number one thing that I'm watching in this game more than anything else.
Well, and with a guy like Norris, you can't really leak out on breaks. You're going to have to get a body on him because he'll crash the glass offensively. I don't want to see as much leaking from Acuff this game. I want to see him get a body on him and prevent some rebounds there. And something about Samford is they're coming off a big overtime road win, so I mean they're ready for this. They've got the confidence.
One of the most
I
dangerous things you can let a mid-major do is get confidence in your
Yep.
building. And coming off that game, you said it yourself, confidence. So
Yep. Yeah. I want to see us, play a full 40 minutes. I feel like we say this every game. We want to see the Hogs play a full 40. I don't want to come out sluggish. I don't want to look lazy. Like I don't want us to have a first half like we had against UCA. I want us to have our foot on their necks the entire game. I don't want to give them any sliver of hope that they can come and, put us down.
Yeah. I am glad you mentioned DJ Wagner on these guys. I want to see the same amount of clamps that he put on Fears the entire game. Like I want him on everybody because I don't think I got to speak on that. I think I talked about how he was like our most consistent player, but he locked him up in Michigan State. So do the same thing here. I think he's going to be huge in attacking their guards, especially Booth. I mean, you put him there and just ignore him the rest of the game. Like let DJ Wagner do his thing because I've never seen defense played as beautifully as he was playing it. I mean, it was phenomenal.
all right, so I assume obviously we're all going to go ahead and say uh, Arkansas is going to win this game, but give me score predictions.
Joey, you're up first.
I'm gonna say 92 to 71.
All right,
That may
71
be a
point
little
win.
high. Hold on. Let me. No,
No, no, no.
time
One
out.
one time,
No,
one time.
I'm not locking that in. I'm not locking that in. I'm gonna say 92 to 61.
Okay,
61.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go 98, 67.
I like it. I like it. Okay. I've got a preview article coming out on this as well, and I've already written down the score, so I'm gonna stick true to it. I've got 91 to 65, almost right in the middle between the two of
Yeah,
you. So
that's
that's
funny.
that's pretty good. All right. Real quick before we go, I want to do a quick check-in. I know we're only 3 games into the season, but if you were listening a few episodes ago, we brought out some over-unders season totals that we talked about on one of the podcasts. Try to set some lines on some things that some stats, some percentages as the season goes along. So just want to do a quick check-in on how those are going at the moment. It's hard to do the points right now, but with some caveats, let's look at this one. We put the line at 78.5 points per game. Um, I believe Matt said under on this one. We talked a little bit about how somebody said under because we talked a little bit about how we're playing a lot of tough games.
I
It
think I
surely
may
wasn't
have.
me.
I
I
think I
think
may
I think
have. I
Matt said a
think I
little
said
under.
it like a little bit.
Well, I think it's not going to be a terrible bet because against Michigan State we only scored 66. But if we keep doing what we're doing to these mid majors and putting up 90 plus every game on the season, we're currently averaging 89.3 points, which is not unusual for a team against early competition like this. But um, obviously beating the hell out of that over under right now, but that 66 points, you may have a good bet, Matt, because we have a lot of games like that coming up.
Did you already say what our over under would be like without the Michigan State game?
Yeah, so without Michigan State, if you remove that game, we are scoring 101 points as a team.
That's just so crazy.
All right, next over under was 3 point percentage. Last season, we were under 33% as a team. This year, we set the line at 34% as a team from the 3 point line. Again, that Michigan State game may be more of an indicator of what could be true. Hopefully, it's not. It was a big road game, a big environment, and shooting is usually the first thing to go in those environments. So that 25% that we shot against Michigan State is really dragging us down. But the team is still sitting at 33% on the season, and we had that line set at 34%. Without Michigan State, we're looking at 37% as a team. Are we still feeling, how are we feeling about that? Do you feel like we're going to still go over? You feel good about your prediction on that?
I said under, I'm pretty sure.
You said, I think I was the
Yeah.
only one that said over on this one. I think you both said
I think we
I
under.
said
think I think I said
no.
over.
I thought you said the same as me, Joey,
We're going
just
to,
a
Did
smidge
I?
under.
Oh, maybe I
we
did.
are
I
going to
thought I said
check the
over.
tape and we'll come back with solid updates on the next episode so
Yeah.
that we're not guessing it. But do you feel like, Matt, do you feel like we're still going under?
I think we're gonna end at like 33 or like
Okay.
33.9 or something like
Okay.
that.
Sure. Sure. Joey, you feel confident still?
I
He can't remember
I
what he
feel
picked, so he doesn't. He's like, yeah,
no,
sure, I'll just change my answer.
no, I really feel like we're gonna be more in the 34 to 35 range. I say
Okay.
range, it can only be a percentage point, but
Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, I think that's fair. I think that we may inflate it enough through the non-conference that we might in there. And then if we can just not be terrible in road games once we get more comfortable, I think we could get there. All right,
it
last
depends how
one
many
was
games Malik goes
yeah, that's
one
true.
for
He's
13.
he's gonna drive it if he's gonna shoot
Yeah.
65% of our team three pointers. All right, last over under was the win total. Obviously, we're only 3 games in. We're 2-1. Big loss to Michigan State early in the schedule. We still have a lot of these games in the non-conference and a lot of good SEC teams to play. We all went over on this one. I do remember this. How you feel still comfortable that we're going over 24 and a half wins on this one?
Yeah, we're not losing another game. That's
All right.
in Michigan State. That was it.
All right.
Just
I like it.
I did feel confident, and then I'm looking at some of our upcoming games, and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
man,
let me just run down our schedule real fast. We've got these 3 games coming up. Sanford, Winthrop, Jackson State should be 5-1 very soon. Then Duke in Chicago,
6-1.
Louisville, Louisville, who just beat Kentucky pretty handedly at
they,
home.
So what?
they gave them the belt. They were up 20 points at one point.
It's
Kentucky
true.
was
So,
like what? Only had 9 points against St. Mary's School for the Blind. So at like
that's
10 minutes
true.
into the game,
Yeah.
You
Louisville
realize
who?
Kentucky gets to play that Michigan State team soon too, so we're gonna get
If they
a
win,
little crossover
then
there.
I'll shut
Okay.
up. I'll shut up.
Okay. After Louisville, after Louisville, we get Fresno State and Little Rock. Weird things happen in Little Rock. I'm not saying Fresno State's good or anything, but coming between this stretch of 3 games between Duke, Louisville, and then Texas Tech in another neutral site game, throwing Fresno State in Little Rock in the middle of that is a trap game if I've ever seen one. But that 4 game stretch is going to be crazy. Like we're going to learn a lot about our team in that time.
And then you didn't even go into we after Texas Tech, Queens, and then the number one team in the country, Houston.
Houston, you're right. You're right. That's a crazy 6 game stretch right there. And
Yeah,
then you start SEC play. You open with Tennessee.
Tennessee.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
it's a
still
tough
gonna
schedule.
I'm still gonna say the over 24 and a half. I say we get to 25 wins.
I like it. 24 is what I've been hoping for all season. So I think we can get over. I think we can get there.
Yeah. You know, sky's the limit for me. When we lose a game, I'll just go down one. I'll just go down one. I can't
Matt,
I
Matt
can't
put
bring
his
myself to say we're
house.
gonna lose.
Matt put his house on this season, Hogs. Y'all don't let him lose it.
No, please. My wife would kill me.
She
Oh my
doesn't know
gosh.
She
yet.
doesn't know yet.
Oh man. All right. That's all the time we have for you guys today. We appreciate you tuning in. Quick reminder, we are brought to you by the Field of 68 Podcast Network. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your stuff. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, share with your friends, especially if you enjoy the content we're bringing. We really, really appreciate you tuning in. I have been your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joey Jackson and Matt Jackson. And as always,